Hello, future data scientists. I guess you're thinking about how you can become a data scientist in 2025. You may have watched my last video on how to become a data analyst and you thought, okay, that's cool. But what if I want to do more of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and predictive modeling? Well, I'm here to tell you today that you're in the right place because that's what I'll be discussing today. Hello, my name is Grace and I am a data scientist. Today, I'll be walking you through exactly how you can become a data scientist in 2025. I'll let you know the skills you need, the best learning path, and how to land your first job. I'll also show you how a data scientist's job is different from a data analyst's, so you know exactly what you are about to get into. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive straight into it. Wondering the difference between a data scientist and a data analyst? Very valid question to ask. If you've watched my last video on how to become a data analyst, and if you haven't, I'll leave the link here. You already know that the analysts focus on exploring data, building dashboards, and generating insights for decision making. The scientist, on the other hand, takes this to another level. It takes it to the next level. I used to say to some people that a data analyst is like a subset of a data scientist based on what they do, because a data scientist does what the data analyst does and even more. Does that make sense? I think so. So just think of it like this. A data analyst tells you what happened, looking at past data and probably what is happening presently. But a data scientist looks far beyond the past and the present and into the future, thereby trying to predict what will happen next. So data analyst tells you what has happened, data scientist tells you what will happen next. Just a simplified way of looking at it. Or just imagine you work for a streaming service like Netflix. You might have to build like a recommendation system that suggests shows and movies to users based on their preferences, what they had watched in the past. Or you are working in a financial firm, you could create models that could help to detect fraud. Basically, as a data scientist, you are like a mix of a detective, a statistician, and a coder, like a programmer. It's slight difference between programming and coding, but let me put it that way, coder. So now let's talk about the core skills you need to become a data scientist. You need knowledge of programming languages, basically Python and R. Python is the most popular for data science. You need to learn libraries like pandas, NumPy, scikit-learn. R is also very great. It's great for statistical analysis, but it's less common in machine learning roles and data scientist roles generally. Their companies are actually use it. I have a friend who says that's what they use in their company. So yeah, so Python and R are very key to learn. Then mathematics and statistics will be number 2 skill to get your head around. You need probability, linear algebra, and statistics for machine learning models. So you need to learn that. And number 3, machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence. AI is wide, but try to start with understanding the simple and basic algorithms like linear regression, before you start moving to things like neural networks. Okay, so you have different types of algorithms: linear regression, decision trees, neural networks, deep learning, just the list goes on. But focus more on the basic algorithms first, and then you progress from there. You also need to get yourself familiar with TensorFlow and PyTorch, but these are more advanced. So just start off with the basics and then you progress from there. Number 4 is SQL, structured query language, SQL and data manipulation. You see that I mentioned this when I was talking about data analyst, which is why I said this data scientist role encompasses that of data analyst and more. Okay, So SQL and data manipulation. Even though data scientists use Python, SQL is still key for handling structured data because you have big data, you have unstructured data to work with, but sometimes you also have structured data to work with. So you use SQL to query your database. Number 5, data visualization and storytelling. Just like I said in the last video, a data scientist also needs to ensure that whatever you've worked on can be interpreted to your stakeholders. So you could use Python tools in Python like Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly, and you also have Power BI and Tableau to create beautiful visualization that will help you present your data to people who are like non-technical stakeholders of yours. So that's a very crucial part of being a data scientist. Those are basically the five core skills I believe every data scientist should have. So in my introduction, I mentioned learning paths. So you want to know how to learn data science in 2025. I would say you start from learning Python and SQL. You give yourself 1 to 2 months to learn Python basics, pandas, numpy, so you could do some exploratory analysis, and then you learn SQL for data handling. There are lots of resources. We have Kaggle, you have some Harvard courses too. The beautiful thing is that there are a lot of free resources online. I think I'll try to create a collection of these for you if you're interested. Let me know in the comment section and I could try to gather this and share also on this channel alongside this data series. I've been doing this data series back to back just to create that awareness, but other content, other helpful tips will still come in from time to time. So that's number 1. Learn Python and SQL first. So I'll say the first 1 to 2 months you can focus on Python and SQL only. The step 2 would be to master some statistics and machine learning algorithm, understand machine learning, focus on supervised. There's something called supervised and unsupervised learning, regression and classification. Just focus on these ones. Don't go too deep. Don't enter neural network at this point. No, there are lots of resources as usual online. If I can, I'll get a few and put into the description box of this video just to guide you. So if you spend 1 to 2 months on Python and SQL, this particular one might take you 2 to 4 months because you're learning a lot of different things. The supervised learning, the unsupervised, regression models, classification, and the likes. Step 3 for me will be that you should start building machine learning projects. This could take you another 2 to 3 months. Okay. You work on real world problems. There are lots of public data sets that you can work on, and these are like real data sets, but they've been made public. So you work on them. You can predict Netflix show, like I said, recommend shows. You could also do things like predicting stock prices. There are a lot of things you could do. Classification of images. You could build chatbots. Sure, all of you are enjoying all the whole chatbots, everywhere. Generative AI is everywhere. That's another thing we need to touch some other day. There's a lot to discuss. I don't know if you have not subscribed though. This will be a perfect time to click that subscribe button so you don't miss all the upcoming and juicy stuffs on this channel. There are different platforms where you could get public data sets. You have Kaggle, you have different sites for even different types of data. There are sites where you could get health data, and there are sites where you could get energy data. There are sites where you could get all kinds of data. So just know what you're looking for. So public data sets are everywhere. You could use those to start off, and most of them are like what you will see in real life. So it's a good way to start. Step 4 will be to get hands-on with deep learning and AI. This is optional but valuable. Like I said, start with the basics. If you are able to ace that easily, then you could just hop on the deep learning aspect. It's optional but valuable. Okay, that means in this particular one, you'll be learning things like neural networks, TensorFlow, and PyTorch. Okay, this will help you to try to build things like chatbots, image recognition system, recommendation engines, and all those good stuff. Step 5 will be to build a portfolio and start applying for jobs. So when you have done these machine learning projects, it'll be good for you to create like a GitHub page where you can upload these projects. You could also write about this on your blog post if you have blogs, and just contribute to open source sites, and then you start targeting entry-level data science and machine learning engineer roles. So now you know a whole lot, but before you go all in, here are some common mistakes you need to avoid. Number 1 is thinking you don't need statistics and maths, so you skip it. You don't need to have a PhD or something, just the basic math is essential. Number 2 will be jumping straight into deep learning. You jump into deep learning too early. Like I said, it's valuable, but it's optional. So focus more on the basic ones, linear regression and the likes. And number 3 common mistake will be only taking courses without projects. You're taking online courses, you're doing all the courses, but you're not even practicing what you are learning. You're not doing any real world projects. Certifications will help you, but you see, that practical experience, those real world projects you are doing, that is what will get you hired. People want to see what you have done. Oh, you have the certificate. Oh, beautiful. Oh, wow, nice. Okay, so what have you done? So you don't want to be in that position. So translate your learnings, your certifications into visible projects which you can put in your portfolio, like I mentioned earlier. Before I wrap up this video, I want to talk about how to land your first data science job. You have the skills, but you need to get hired. So here's how to get you hired. Like I mentioned previously, start with entry-level roles. So you can start applying for data analyst. Like I said, it's a subset of data scientist roles. So you can start applying for data analyst roles, machine learning engineers. There are different names for these things, but junior data scientist, junior data analyst. These are kind of roles you should be looking at to start off with, because there they know that you're you're just coming in, you're fresh, and you're going to upgrade with time. So junior meaning you're kind of starting off, and that gives you room to build your skills, learn, make mistakes, and learn from them as you continue to get better. Number 2, network. There are people who didn't apply for jobs, but someone that they know, that knows someone that is hiring, connected them to that person that is hiring. They sent their CV, they got interviewed, they got the job. Network is important. How do you network, you might ask? The biggest professional networking site for professionals is LinkedIn. Are you on LinkedIn? Yes. Are you active? No. Why? You don't have to post every day, but the point is, get on LinkedIn, connect with people. Sometimes you meet someone in a conference or somewhere. It's not always appropriate asking for people's number. It could be a bit like infringing on their privacy, but if you know their names, you could just check them up on LinkedIn and connect with them. Keep your connection, and not just connecting and just never say hello to them. Reach out from time to time. Keep the connection going. Okay? And then you need to ace the interview, of course. So if you network and apply for jobs and you get called for interviews, you need to start preparing for the interview. Prepare for coding challenges, prepare for SQL tests, prepare for machine learning case studies, prepare to explain that project that you have in your portfolio. How did you achieve it? What did you do? Be able to explain. Like I said, you need to be able to tell the story of what you have done. Build that your data storytelling skills, okay? And then Last but not the least, you need to keep learning. You need to keep learning. You need to keep learning and stay updated. Understand what's happening. I said it in the last video, These things change, in the world of data. Data evolves fast. And you need to, go with the pace. So it doesn't just evolve, it evolves very fast. So keep learning, stay updated, follow the trends. Everybody's talking about generative AI. You've heard about DeepSeek, large language models, cloud computing. This is the future. So don't stay behind, don't be left behind. Flow, go ahead with them. Move to the future with everybody. So yeah, I think those are the basic things I think you need to do to land yourself or to land your first data science job. I hope you have subscribed. We have come to the end of today's video and I know you found it useful. I know. Share so that other people can learn, okay? Let me know in the comment section what other topics to focus on or what you want to know next, or if you have any questions as usual. But that's it for you. That's the ultimate roadmap to becoming a data scientist in 2025. And if you are coming from a data analyst background, it is absolutely possible to transition into being a data scientist. Absolutely. Just focus on machine learning, coding, and projects. Drop your comments or questions. Subscribe for more cool contents like this, helpful stuff like this. Thank you for watching. As always, stay graceful. Remember, I love you, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Until then, bye-bye.